Hey guys, I'm Nathan James.
And I'm Rose Cherry.
And we're podcasting about flexible dieting today with Rose for the Fitness Cartel. So Rose, the question of the day, flexible dieting, what is it?
Well, Nathan, that's a really good question. I personally believe that flexible dieting is fitting a diet within a lifestyle. So it's something that you can sustain while still being able to go out and have social events with friends and family, and ensuring that, it's something that works for you and you can do it long term.
All right, so if I was to say, because I know there's a misconception with flexible dieting, and I've heard people say, I haven't eaten anything all day long, so I can have KFC, I can have wine, I can have chocolate. Is that real? I love it. I want to do it myself.
It would be nice if that was real, because then we could all just have what we like.
I'm out of it. It's not good for me.
I believe in the 80-20, so 80% good, 20% bad. So yes, you can have your KFC and your wine, but it should be that 20%.
Obviously, I'm not talking about myself with that sort of thing, because my body's a temple, I don't do that.
Yes, no, me neither, never.
All right, so tell me some of the tips, though, obviously, there's keto, there's drinking lemon water, there's, I don't know what it is, there's a million different diets into, there's all sorts of things too. Is there a diet that fits everyone? Like, is there a magic diet?
Personally, I don't think there's a magic diet. I think it's whatever works for you. Whatever you can do to 100% and be consistent on it, it's going to work. So all of those lemon water, keto, maybe not lemon water, but everything will work as long as you do it to 100% and you adhere to it. And
I'll tell you what, I did try the keto diet. I loved it because I don't normally eat lots of eggs and fats and bacon. So I was eating rissoles and stuff too.
Delicious.
And I was getting heartburn. And it kind of worked, and I figured, my personal opinion, though, was, like you said, there's no magic diet. And I was chopping and changing, and it actually really worked for me.
Yeah.
Because it was a short period of time. I think I probably would have died from cholesterol poisoning or something the way I was going, because I was like sausages and burger patties. Like, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was just a protein diet, like a caveman.
Exactly.
But, I don't think that was sustainable too. And you can't kind of walk into a restaurant and go, just give me a pile of meat and nothing else on the side, because when you go to a restaurant, obviously it's a small portion. So I totally agree with this. So you're saying there's no magic diet, flexibility. And what about sugars? Tell me about sugar.
Sugar's fine in moderation.
Moderation?
Yeah, you can have anything you want in moderation. That's the beauty of flexible dieting. So you don't need to cut sugar, fruit, carbs, anything like that to get results.
Right. And but my kind of moderation is I'm going to eat the whole bucket of Baskin Robbins on a cheat day, which I'm going to ask about. I'll put that down here on my list.
Okay.
Now, we haven't planned anything, guys, so we're just going to wing it. And Rose is an absolute expert when it comes to this, and I'm just like a gym hawk. I love training. I don't even know what I am. I just build gyms and stuff like that, but I'd like to train, but I don't know if I fall into any category. I try to be a bit of bodybuilder, which didn't work, and group fitness, which she wouldn't let me teach, and all those sort of things. But so, I need to know,
That's a good point about cheat meals. So yeah. I personally don't believe in cheat meals, as it can set a bad relationship around food, as people then associate those foods as being bad. So I do refeed days or a refeed meal. So usually a meal that's higher in carbs and glycogen to replenish those stores when you have been in a deficit or dieting. But don't call it a cheat day or a cheat meal.
Carbs and glycogen. Tell me what are carbs and glycogen?
Sugars. Sugar. That's why sugar is important, and you shouldn't cut it out.
And are there different types of carbs?
Yes, complex and simple.
Ooh, I know.
So fast release carbs and ones that are slower digested.
So complex is fast. That's a slow release.
So complex is something like oats, potato, and simple is like lollies, fruit juice.
Write that down. Because one of the things I've done too, and I know you're really busy because you've got a really successful business, the oats, Uncle Toby's oats, the fine ones, in my protein, shake it up, drink it.
Yep.
Is that still, can I keep doing that or?
You can. They take longer to digest than something that's like, say, a banana, honey, and protein before training.
Okay.
But it also depends on how you tolerate that before training. So everyone's different. Personally, I like to have oats before I train. But some people, it doesn't digest fast enough and they can feel sick. So again, it's whatever works for you.
Absolutely. What would you recommend for, say, an average Joe Blow? They've just come out of, I might be talking about myself here. We've come out of the COVID period. We're a bit demotivated. business is tough or things are going struggling or whatever, I put a little bit of weight on. I don't fit into my nice comfy pants anymore. They're not comfy pants anymore. They're really uncomfy, and I'm looking for the elastic pants. Well, not me. Here we go. It's not like I'm asking for a friend.
My clothes are tighter too.
Yeah. I'm asking for a friend. So what would you recommend? What are the fastest ways too that I could help get back to feeling a bit more better about myself? Yeah.
Well, tip number 1, don't go out and buy new clothes, because then you're allowing yourself to not get back on track. Tip number 2, just move a little bit more and eat less. So go for longer walks, get up, move around the house, and just pull back on your quantities of what you're currently eating.
I'm writing them
and
down.
If you are hungry, instead of going for a block of chocolate, have a glass of water, have a cup of tea, get out of the house. Look back at some photos before pre-COVID when you were nice and sexy and get back to that.
My friend actually was just posting them on his Instagram recently, actually. Yeah, so I'm writing all these down for my friend. All right, so what about training? Training, I've got my my diet, I'm kind of getting a little bit in track. And I know you're an expert at this sort of stuff and you've got trained hundreds and hundreds of clients.
Yeah.
What do you do to keep them motivated?
Oh, that's a good question. Everyone responds to different types of motivation. So some people are very highly motivated themselves. Others need lots of encouragement. Some people need training buddies. It's, relative to the person, really.
Trying these down. So, training buddies. I think that's something else too. One of the other guys on here before talked about training partners, and we talked about the percentage of the likeliness that you continue training and getting your results, which is really cool. I mean, it seems to be a common thing that, and you know that because you train with your husband as well. You guys are the freaks that can train together comfortably.
I don't want to kill him sometimes. Sorry about that. I think a schedule as well. So having set training times. So on a Sunday or a Monday, write down what you're going to do for the week and try and stick to those times. So you might pick the kids up at certain times. You have set gym times. When you cook your meals, having a schedule is definitely going to help you get back to pre-COVID and stay on track.
So we have a plan and a schedule. That is really, really good. What about, I'm going to shoot off from here and talk about trainers, because I know you've also managed groups of personal trainers as well. They've just gone through the same thing. They're struggling. Maybe they've put on weight as well. I think everyone's put on weight actually. But they've come back, their business is a little bit struggling and they're looking to get back into, what do they do to keep motivated? I mean, you kept flying and kept business, and there's some that haven't because they kind of didn't know, they didn't change as fast.
Very tough.
Yeah.
Set some goals. So where you want to be in a month, 2 months, maybe 5 months, even a year's time. It could be financial goals, could be training goals. And remember that you are a role model to your clients and they look up to you. So we can be crumbling on the inside, but we can't really show that to them. I mean, they want to see that we're human, but they also look up to us and look to us for motivation. So, we need to, stick to our goals, I suppose.
No, I'll write that down. And that's one of the things that I've got a group of people that I work with as well, and you've got to take charge. You've got to say...
You have to, no matter what's going on around you.
And I guess for the trainers too, there's going to be a lot of clients too that are using this as an excuse. And I'm not dismissing that there are financial hardships as well, but I'm also saying that this is also an excuse for some people.
It's also very hard for people once they've created those bad habits. Like in COVID, there was a lot of drinking and overeating because people were stressed and emotional and upset. As those habits go longer than 2, 3, 4 weeks, like even months, it's very hard to break those habits and go back to your old habits of eating healthy, going to the gym, getting up early, go for a walk. Absolutely.
We're still in our household too, trying to get back onto track, and we didn't go through so much the storing up the toilet paper, but Grace we had like a wine cellar in our house, and we don't even have a wine cellar because she was like,
nothing wrong with that. My girl.
Yeah, she was definitely in moderation. Not really, but anyway. No, she in hindsight, we went off track for a few days, and like everyone, I bought a PlayStation, and the gym that we're sitting in, I had a lounge in reception, bought some meat and a grill, and if we get locked down, I was going to be locked in the gym.
Well, that's the hardest part. No one knew how bad it was going to be, so it's kind of chaos.
So no one knew because they were all coming from a place of fear.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll need to get back into flexible dieting because I know I've steered you away from what what you came here to talk about. What are your tips though? What would you recommend for flexible dieting for someone?
If you're really serious and you want to shift some weight, I believe the best thing to do is hire a coach or a personal trainer. Work with meal plans just for a short period of time so you can see how you need to set your meals out. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, pre-training meal, post-training meals. Then over, let's say, a couple of months, then your coach can educate you on how to use MyFitnessPal. So then you start learning about macros and you start making up your own meal plan. So then hopefully in, say, 6 months' time, you've gone off your training wheels, which is your meal plans, and now you are doing your own flexible dieting, fitting food in that you like. And yeah, eventually you can do it on your own.
Can't I just jump online and buy a program off some random person?
Sure you can, but it's not customized to you and your goals. So
the reason I laugh about that is because every single person I've spoken to in my experience in years and years in this industry is there is no one-stop shop. I mean, you've seen the girls that come in and they're like a stick and they can't put on muscle. Like the poor girls are struggling, and if you put them on the same one as a girl that easily is hard, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
It has to be calculated to their body and their goals because everyone is unique.
No. I mean, there are some really good personal trainers that are online as well, but I think, like you said, sending a generic program which is copy-paste, I think that I feel that the consumers and people out there are aware of this now. I mean, yeah. So
it seems too good to be true. It generally is.
Yeah.
So if it's cheap and nasty.
Yeah, that's a grace actually. I'm not really too good to be true.
Oh, and there are other apps out there. MyFitnessPal is not the only one. That's what I use with my clients and a lot of trainers use. But there are other ones out there that people could use that are free.
Okay, Grace, my partner, uses it. She uses MyFitnessPal all the time
it's
too.
fabulous. I like it.
It tracks her macros, energy in, energy out, which has been a common thing that's said as well.
That's it.
And I know protein is a big thing as well. If I'm training and I'm a female or male, if I have so much, am I going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Unfortunately, no.
I know. I made a joke.
It would be nice.
I always joke about that. It'd be like me saying if I play basketball, I'm going to turn into Michael Jordan, or if I start playing golf, am I going to turn into Tiger Woods? Yeah. It's not possible, is it?
No, not at all. And excess protein is not good for you. It's not good for your kidneys. So there is a set amount of protein that each individual have. Men obviously have higher protein than females. And there's ways of calculating that. And a coach can do that for you.
And if I was to come and start training with you, and I was a newbie, and I know we're talking about generalization here, which is really difficult. Yeah. What are the first things you'd probably look at in my diet to try and fix? And I don't think anyone really I know we talk about flexible dieting. Yeah. I think, am I comfortable so we could take dieting out and call it flexible eating and get rid of the dieting word?
I'd say so, yeah, because people, as soon as they associate the name of diet, they think restriction and short term. Yeah. It should be, like you said, lifestyle. Yeah.
And what about, so what would you do? What are your first tips for a newbie?
If they're looking to improve their diet and their physique, I would get them to do a food diary and then sit down and have a look at, what times are they eating, where are they going wrong, what type of food are they eating, how does it make them feel? So like, do they feel bloated after certain foods? Do they feel tired? What are they having pre-training, post-training? And then try and help them make better choices. So food is the number one. Like if you really want to change your physique, nutrition is key. Yeah. Training, you can train as hard as you like. You can train 4 hours a day. If you're not eating the right food, you're not going to look how you want to look.
And I can honestly say I've been trying to out-train a bad diet for many years.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I've tried, and I've done the 3-hour gym sessions too, and it is, like I said, it's a 60% nutrition, almost 70% nutrition. And no one ever gets it spot on to 40% training. And I know you see a lot of people too, probably myself included, where I'll go through and I'll train and I won't change. All those people that come to the gym and they train, they'll be there for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, years, and they don't change.
No, that's a really good point. Anything else you think we should add for the guys and girls that are viewing today? Any tips? Number one tip?
Be consistent. Don't give up after a couple of weeks. You're not going to see results straight away. It's probably going to take 8 weeks to start seeing physical changes. Around 12 weeks is when people are going to start noticing and complimenting you. So it's not a short-term thing, like it's long-term. And if your goal is to build muscle and you're doing it naturally, it's going to take years. So be consistent, work hard.
Well, guys, that's a wrap. I want to thank Rose for coming on the Fitness Cartel podcast today. If you jump on the fitnesscartel.com.au and you'll be able to see this up there as well. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you for having me.